continue with our discussion on web terminology. Our next term is HTML. And we've talked a little bit about this already. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and that's the tagging of text files for the World Wide Web pages that we're going to be building. XHTML stands for Extensible Hypertext Markup Language. And it's basically the same thing as HTML, except it's a little more strict. That's the way I would define it. XML is different than XHTML or HTML. XML stands for Extensible Markup Language, and it's a meta language that its primary purpose is to describe data. And so what you do is you tag up data in order to describe it, and then allow others to access or use that data on the web. You know, a lot of the things you see being done with RSS feeds or really simple syndication with newspapers and the sharing and tagging of newspaper articles, that's how a lot of the news around the world gets shared, is through basically an XML environment that's set up to share, you know, news feeds. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. That's how you upload and download data on the internet. SFTP does it securely. WWW stands for World Wide Web. Well, it's kind of a misnomer, the www. A lot of websites have www.something.com, and you know that www really is, you know, it does, you know, it's known for being World Wide Web. But if you notice on the site that you're on right now, it's on cit.dixie.edu. We don't have www in front of that at the front. And so really what that CIT is pointing to is a server on the internet. And so it's been commonly known as the web, but that's not exactly how I would describe it. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. And that's going to be the language that we learn to describe the presentation semantics, which another way of saying that is the look and the style of a document. JavaScript is a programming language that's used in web pages. You use JavaScript to make your web experience much more interactive. And one of the libraries within JavaScript that's really gaining in its use and popularity with programmers is the jQuery library. And jQuery makes JavaScript doable for most of the VT majors out there. PHP is an acronym for, it's actually a recursive acronym for Hypertext Preprocessor. Originally, it was known as Personal Homepage when it very first came out. It was a set of tools to help build out, you know, personal home pages, and now it's grown into a pretty solid environment for building out dynamic web pages. And that's a server-side technology. So you're going to write the code, and it's going to reside on the server, which is different than JavaScript. That's a client-side environment. Where the browser interprets it. So that's what you get there. ASP is really Microsoft's version of PHP. So it's a server-side scripting environment. A blog is a weblog. Most of you are familiar with that. DOM is something that probably needs to be a little bit stronger focus in web developers' curriculum. The DOM is a cross-platform language-independent convention for representing and interacting with objects in HTML. Now that's HTML, XML, XHTML. That's a mouthful. The DOM really is what you see going on within the browser. And so we'll review a little bit more about that, but manipulating the DOM is really a lot of what web developers do by writing scripts in jQuery, by accessing selectors in CSS and tags in HTML. You're going to be manipulating DOM elements within the browser. Cookies. A cookie is a little packet sent by an internet server to a browser, and it resides on that browser. It's a file on the client machine that then helps track different information with the server. E-commerce. That's really the buying and selling of products and services over the internet. Email. All of you have done email, sending electronic mail messages over the internet. Search engine. You know, your most popular search engine, there's no question what it is today. It's Google, and a search engine makes it a lot easier to find information. And search engines really are in the business of providing relevant results based on some kind of search query. For example, if you have a keyword of Cancun and you type that in, search engines are built to provide relevant results to the user. And that's really what they do. And if their results are relevant, then users use them. If they're not, they don't. And so Google's providing probably the most relevant results for keywords at the present time. So I think that's why they're winning the game, is because of that user experience. Hypertext. It's basically point-and-click method of linking text to some other resource on the internet. The internet. Well, it's really, you could define the internet in a couple of ways. I have lots of definitions for the internet. There's two primary ones. One of the definitions is an infrastructure definition, all the network connections, which really then you're describing the internet as the network of networks. But there's also a communication definition where we access information, we share information, we communicate with others over the internet. And that definition also exists. The kind of things that you do on the internet is another definition for it. IP stands for Internet Protocol. It's the method by which information is sent between any two computers on the internet. An IP address is a unique string of numbers separated by periods that identify each computer attached to the internet. And there's an example of it right here on screen. You got a little number right here, 208.76.80.199. That's an IP number. So this IP number really is how you resolve, and that's kind of changing. The IP number space is going to an IPv6 right now that is providing a lot more IP numbers for us on the internet. I think they think that people are running out of numbers, and there's some truth to that. So now there's probably an IP with IPv6. There's probably an IP number. There's probably millions of numbers for all of us right now. And there's plenty of IP numbers to connect all kinds of devices to the internet. And you'll probably see a lot of that. You'll see probably a lot of your home automation things happen with devices, whether it be a refrigerator or a hot tub or whatever. You'll have those devices be given certain kinds of IP numbers, and you'll be able to access and manipulate. And I think the things that we're going to be doing with IP in the future is going to continue to increase. LAN stands for Local Area Network. In my office, I have my own little LAN. I have a little network switch that allows me to connect a number of computers in my office, and then I interconnect with another network switch in the building, and the building connects to a centralized switch, and then we connect to the internet with a fiber line that heads back up north through UEN. And so a LAN is the little small office part. A MAN is a metropolitan area network, which would be a network that spans a city or a large campus. A WAN is a wide area network that connects things more than a mile apart. Meta tag. A meta tag really is HTML code that goes in the head section of your HTML document. And meta tags historically have helped with search engine optimization or providing better or more relevant results to the search engines. But there are some reports that are suggesting that these meta tags are now becoming somewhat diminished. TLD stands for top level domain. What are some of the top level domains? Well, there they are right in front of you. If you look at them, you've got .edu, .gov, .net, .com, .org, and those were the original top-level domains on the internet. Network, number of internet interconnected computers. Theming. Now this is a concept we're going to play a little bit with in class, because as you build out a website, you really need to center your content around a certain keyword or theme, so that when you publish that site online and search engines index or archive them, then it can follow a theme, and so that a user who types in a certain keyword or theme can then find your site. Content, that's all the stuff that makes up a website. Text, images, video, photography, all those elements. Link popularity. That's important, because that's how many sites link back to your site. SEO, search engine optimization, that's the process by which you go through to improve your site's ranking in the search engines. PPC stands for pay-per-click, and what that is you buy advertising on other sites, and that advertising, each time somebody clicks, it forwards a lead or an ad back to your site. Findability, how easily is your website found? Are you top listed? Those kind of things. Eyeballs, it's the raw number of people who look at your website. Traffic, that's the raw data of visitors coming to your website. And we're going to talk a lot about visitors and visitor metrics, which one of the visitor metrics is a page view. And a page view is anytime a page loads on a website. Google Analytics provides all kinds of metrics about page views, traffics, and other metrics about users to your site. And that's the last term, is web marketing metrics. And you analyze your metrics to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of a web experience.